Hi friends, today I'm going to discuss an important topic, and this is essentially whether you should take a year off after you have finished your high school. Now this may be at the end of grade 12, class 12 as the case may be, and this used to be quite a frequent thing in the past when I used to be a high school student sometime long ago. And very often people would take a year off following their class 12 examinations, prepare for some competitive exam or standardized test during that entire year, and then they would get a much better score or they would get a much better rank in terms of the competitive exam which they are giving. And in fact, if you go back in time and look at the history of many people, you will see that they have taken a gap year after high school and then they went on to give some competitive exam and then get into some institution of repute, after which their career has taken off. Now, one of the things I have seen with time is that many things which used to be good 20 or 30 years ago are not so good anymore. And one of the reasons for this is that the people have changed, the circumstances has changed, the technology has changed. And so I'm going to discuss what are the advantages and disadvantages of taking a gap year after high school at the current time. So let's look at the basic philosophy behind taking a gap year. And one of the main good points is that you effectively decouple your high school exam problem from your competitive exam or standardized test preparation problem. So essentially during your grade 12 and the year before, you can completely concentrate on your high school preparation, try to get a very good marks or score in this high school, and then take a year off, join some coaching institute or self-study, or take some online coaching, and then essentially give this competitive exam or standardized test you are preparing for. And because you have devoted an entire year to this test, it's very likely that you are going to do well in this test. So that's the expected result at the very least. Now, like I said, it was a very successful strategy during the 1990s and so on. But today, one of the things I noticed that many students who have taken this gap year have kind of fallen through the cracks of the system. And one of the reasons is that there is a plethora of disturbing or distractions which are present today, which were not present 20 or 30 years ago. And essentially all these are related to the presence of the internet. So essentially with the proliferation of mobile phones, you have access to a plethora of content on the web. And it's very difficult for a young person to keep himself or herself separate from this content. So not only there is content in the form of the various social media sites, but also there are movies out there and different material, and so people waste a lot of their time in these things as well as in gaming. So one of the results is that if you take a year off, if you do not have a lot of self-discipline, it may actually have a negative consequence as far as your educational trajectory is concerned. So that is something which have been happening recently. Now, one of the ways to counter this would be to have substantial self-discipline. You need to be sufficiently strong so that you can set your mobile phone in a different room and then study in a different room. You should probably join some actual physical coaching center where you go and work with people so that you have fellow classmates, you have actual teachers who can monitor your progress, who can bring in some self-discipline into your system and so on. One more strategy could be you join a college or a community college nearby your home and you take some classes while continuing your preparation for this exam or standardized test. So this will help you make some progress toward whatever college you are going to. So you could take some preliminary class, you could take some class on calculus or differential equation or economics for that matter, and such classes will generally get transferred to any college system, or if they are not transferred also, they will certainly help you when you take those courses in college and they will generally help in your growth. So of course this is very important to keep in mind, is that you may take a year off after your high school, but be extremely careful, because nowadays there are a lot of distractions out there. There are various substances which can have deleterious consequences on your mind, and so you need to be extremely self-disciplined, take the support of friends and family, especially your family, and focus completely on your studies. The best strategy, of course, would be if you can couple your high school preparation with the competitive exam or the standardized test, and I have made some videos on how to study for high school, which you can check out to aid your preparation. In many cases, these two things do run parallelly. So if you utilize your summer vacations well and your winter vacations well, then you can give all these things in the 2 years following class 10. But if you have some problems with this, you can take a gap year, but keep the points I have mentioned today in mind when you are taking the gap year. So I hope this video is useful for you, and please share it with different people if it is useful. Please stay tuned to my channel, and I will see you in a video sometime soon.